Is issuing an apology after scandals arise.
Welcome back to RMU Live for Friday, November 4th, 2016. I'm Rhea DeBone.
And I'm Cassidy Walters. Here's what's happening now. We are less than 1 week away from the presidential elections, and the candidates have their eye on 3 states that may swing the election. Pennsylvania is one of them. Right now, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton is speaking live at Heinz Field. RMU-TV's Eddie Sheehy is there.
Hillary Clinton is here in Pittsburgh for a 5th time after arriving just 2 weeks ago. Now, the reason she's here is pretty clear. Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania as a whole is a battleground. For her right now, she's only ahead by about 3 points in the polls, so Pennsylvania is going to be key if she wants to reach 270 electoral votes to become president. Now, we've heard from Mayor Bill Peduto, County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, and Senator Bob Casey. They talked a lot about getting out to vote, knocking on doors, making phone calls, getting friends and family out to vote, as well as electing Katie McGinty to the Senate. Now, Hillary Clinton's going to speak at about 1 o'clock. We will be covering that on RMUCenturyMedia.com.
And RMU-TV will be holding its own election night coverage from 8 p.m. until midnight on November 8th. You can watch on RMU-TV, online at RMUCenturyMedia.com, RMU Century Media's Facebook, or RMU Century Media's Twitter. 2 U.S. military trainers were killed on Friday when their vehicle attempted to enter the Prince Faisal Air Base in Jordan, a country in the Middle East. The U.S. military trainers were killed in an exchange of gunfire, and the Pentagon is looking into reports but cannot yet confirm what exactly happened.
The police are searching for a man after a bank robbery took place Wednesday morning at the Allegheny Valley Bank. Investigators say that a white male was seen armed with a gun, wearing a wig and mask, and seen driving off in a black Nissan Versa. Officials are still looking for the man. Another sex scandal has arisen at the Plum High School after a teacher, Michael Sinifra, pleaded guilty to charges against him. He will likely face 30 to 60 years behind bars, but no decisions have been made. Along with Sinifra, 3 other teachers at the high school were arrested last year for the same allegations. Police are searching for a missing teen in the Bellevue area. The 14-year-old goes to Allegheny Intermediate Unit in McKees Rock. She was last seen on Wednesday by her mother. And if anyone sees or has any information on Maya Falcone, they should contact police.
The state of Pennsylvania's opioid abuse and addiction problem was addressed by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf on Wednesday as he signed 5 new laws to prevent these issues. The laws include limits on how much can be prescribed in a medical emergency or to children and discuss the safe opioid training for medical students. The bills will go into effect in the upcoming months.
A mother, Christian Clark, in Allegheny County, is being charged with smothering her 2-year-old son to death. Clark was arguing over text with the boy's father when the incident happened and admitted to killing their son. The messages exchanged say that Clark was threatening to kill the children due to the disagreement with the father. She is also charged with attempting to smothering her 2-year-old daughter. Penn State University is being hit with a $2.4 million fine for how they handled the Jerry Sandusky scandals. Their Department of Education found that the university failed to report the allegations. Students and faculty were not warned.
A bacteria found in Pennsylvania soil nearly killed an infant living in Washington County due to a diagnosis of infant botulism. It is caused by bacteria carried through the air, and if it is treated early enough, the child can have a full recovery, like the child in Washington County. A total of 21 cases were reported in Pennsylvania in 2015, and it is almost impossible to prevent a child from contracting the disease.
Due to the upcoming 2016 presidential election, voters are annoyed and disgusted with how it's been going. Polls in the New York Times have shown that voters are not excited, and they should be. According to the poll, Clinton has the lead with the Trump behind her.
Donald Trump, Republican presidential nominee, will be traveling to rally in Atkinson, New Hampshire, Wilmington, Ohio, and Hershey, Pennsylvania today. Hillary Clinton, Democratic presidential nominee, will be traveling to rally in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and Detroit, Michigan today. They will both be discussing the election before it takes place on November 8th.
The FBI is investigating their own Twitter account after tweets were sent about the William J. Clinton Foundation. Since the tweets, there have been leaks around FBI activity designed to hurt Clinton's campaign, benefiting Trump's in the process. Melania Trump, Donald Trump's wife, has announced she will take on cyberbullying as the First Lady. Melania has said she hasn't been the election spotlight recently due to raising their son. In addition, Trump's older children have been supporting his campaign across the country.
A woman was found chained up like a dog inside a mental container in South Carolina this past week. She had been held captive for 2 months, and as of Friday, deputies arrested the man who owned the property, Todd Colehep, who has been on the South Carolina Sex Offenders Registry and served time in prison. Charges have not been filed, but an initial hearing is scheduled.
An African-American church in Mississippi is being rebuilt after being burnt to the ground. The church was then vandalized with the words "Vote Trump" written on it. Members are devastated, saying this shouldn't be happening in 2016. But something good has come. $170,000 have been donated to help rebuilding the church. A unique public-private crackdown helped cut taxpayer identity theft reports in half. It also prevented millions of dollars in fraudulent refunds. The percentage of people who filed IRS affidavits in the first 9 months dropped 50%. The IRS plans to launch information sharing and analysis center in 2017. This will provide early warnings about new and emerging identity theft. On campus, RMU is experiencing some problems concerning the facilities in Washington Hall. There has been reported brown water running through the showers and sinks. Suites affected are C1, C3, B2, and B4. Emails have been sent to the rooms affected and maintenance has been notified.
The Society for Collegiate Journalists awarded the Chapter of the Year honors to RMU at its Atlanta conference last month. The student officers also collected a first-place award for long-form documentary at the College Media Association Fall Film Festival for Hail to RMU Plus, third place, and honorable mention for 2 other Century Media projects. In downtown Pittsburgh, dozens of activities are planned for the holiday season. The 56th annual Light Up Night will take place on November 18th, and many musicians will perform, like Pittsburgh native Daya. Admission is free, and other family activities like the Mass Mutual Pittsburgh Ice Rink will be open all season.
And coming up on RMU Live, a Harvard soccer team is suspended over sex comments.
And NFL is announcing a new virtual reality series. We'll be right back.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text, takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
A Harvard University soccer team was suspended over sex comments. Pictures of female students at Harvard were circulating, rating their attractiveness on a scale from 1 to 10 and other sexually explicit comments around the male athletes' phones. They were currently in first place in the Ivy League, but the team will forfeit for the rest of the games for the season.
The NFL is announcing a new virtual reality series to Google and YouTube. The series will include everything NFL, from the players, coaches, cheerleaders, games, and even fans. The addition is expanding NFL's relations with Google and YouTube by giving them game highlights to air on their site. In London, the British government has planned to leave the European Union. The plan is now uncertain until the Parliament gives its approval on the process. The Prime Minister there many wanted to start the process of leaving, has started early next year.
After the first successful phase of a mission to Mars, the European Space Agency released details on the second phase, the ExoMars mission. On Monday, it was announced that the mission will consist of a rover and a surface platform. This is scheduled to happen in 2020. South Korean President Park Geun-hye apologized on Friday for a scandal of her allowing a mysterious person to manipulate power. Park is accepting a direct investigation into this situation. If she does not separate herself from domestic affairs and accept a prime minister chosen by parliament, the opposition will push her for expulsion.
The U.S. product safety officials have announced another recall on Samsung products following the Galaxy Note 7. This time, it's their washing machines. They are pronounced unsafe, saying the tops can detach during the use of the machines. There are over 700 incidents and 9 injuries from these products. A new discovery has been made in the topic of ancient human history. It has long been estimated that the first humans in Australia arrived around 50,000 years ago. Until now, no concrete evidence was available to support this claim until now. And for all the news you could possibly need regarding RMU news, sports, and entertainment, be sure to visit rmucentury.media.com.
Coming up after the break, weather forecaster Malik Frierson will be in our weather center with a look at this weekend's forecast. We'll be right back.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to another installment of Quick Flicks on RMU-TV. You know, during an election year, it's almost impossible to escape the world of politics, and now that statement is true of the movie theater as well, as political pundit and world-famous liberal Michael Moore has released a brand new documentary just days before the election starts. It's entitled Trumpland, and it's unlike anything Moore has ever made in his entire career. Playing out much less like a documentary and more like a comedy special, Trumpland earns its name from where Michael Moore decided to give his performance. A little town in Ohio that's overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly conservative, and that voted overwhelmingly for Trump in the primaries. It's earned the nickname Trumpland, and that's exactly why Moore decided to give his speech there. But it's not actually Trump that this documentary focuses on. There are moments where Moore talks about the disaster that would be a Trump presidency, but the bulk of the speech Moore gives focuses on the historical implications of this election, Hillary Clinton's rise to power, and why she's not as bad as conservatives seem to make her out to be. Of the 1 hour and 20-minute runtime, in fact, more than half of that is spent making a case for Clinton. The one part of the documentary that actually stood out the most to me was when Moore talks about Hillary and her crusade for healthcare in the 90s. Moore tells the story of an Estonian doctor who met Clinton nearly 3 decades ago when she was researching infant mortality rates for what is now the CHIP healthcare program for children. The story's powerful, bringing audience members in the documentary to tears and, I suspect, viewers at home to nearly the same. With just days until the election, Trumpland is a must-watch for undecided voters, Clinton supporters, and Trump supporters. Moore does a fantastic job humanizing one of the most mythical people in modern-day politics. That's why I'm going to give Michael Moore's Trumpland 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's a great political documentary on its own, but it's a much better commentary about this election and its implications as a whole. Now that's all the time I have here on Quick Flicks. Thank you for watching. I'll be back in just 2 weeks with another movie review for you guys. We'll see you next time.
Well, we're having technical difficulties, but that's all we have for RMU Live.
We will see you next week.